Hello, WellRED podcast folk. This is your boy, the Cho, Corey Ryan Forster. For everyone that has been so awesome and has been watching the episodes on YouTube, I would like to extend my most sincere apology that it is this late getting up. It's been almost a week now, but I've been sick as shit. I started feeling better around yesterday, but the sinuses have just still, you know how it fucking is in the South this time of year. But here we go. Without further ado, this is episode number 141. It is called Quittin, Baccer, History Museums, and racist mascots. So, yeah, we talk about my struggle to quit nicotine. Then we start talking about slavery museums and Native American museums, and that goes straight into NFL and Major League Baseball teams that we think should change their mascots, and also there's farts and stuff. So, anyways, I hope you enjoy it. Continue to enjoy it on YouTube. I promise that, you know, and I mean, I won't say this won't ever happen again because I can't tell you I won't fucking get sick again, especially with the way that I live, but I will do my best to stay on top of it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, download the podcast, leave us a 5-star review, all that good stuff, and more importantly, tell your friends so that we can keep doing this. But thank you all so much for tuning in, and I love you, and skew.
Doggy, but. Where do we go?
We're off this. Yeah, we're going. We're off this weekend. It's the only positive thing.
Yeah,
in my weekend. Really, aside from the fact that these shows have been very fun and good. Thank you, Charlotte.
Yeah.
So,
Charlotte has been
what's
a good
the
time
negative
so
things?
far.
I don't feel good. It's
Don't
just
it?
that no, it's just that time. I mean, this is exactly how I felt almost a year ago to this date when we did that run with DJ in Asheville, and like you, I lost my goddamn voice. And the only positive that came out of that is I successfully quit smoking real cigarettes.
Yeah.
And that has lasted almost a year. And I've got, I think, like 24 days till it's a year. And then I'm quitting these goddamn jewels, too, which is going to be very difficult.
Now, just to be clear, I'm not trying to put you on Front Street, but I just want to know if it's changed any. Last we talked about this, you said you're in another month you're quitting these jewels, too. But... you're then going to snus.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Right,
dude.
okay.
I love nicotine.
Right, yeah.
Like, I'm going to go to snus, and I get, like, to me, the true Russian dollhouse of it would be, like, going to straight dip, and then snus would be, like, the last thing, because that's the...
Now,
You don't even count, like, lozenges and gum and packs and stuff like that. Or
That'll
patches and
definitely be
stuff.
the last thing. Like, it'll probably go... Because I never liked actual dip. Like, it was just too fucking messy. And
I've still to this day never done it. I've
really?
done snus, but I've never
reason-
dipped in my life.
The reason I
have
can...
a thing with
did, and I
spit.
puked.
It's the spit thing for me, too, because, like, I'm just kind of all over the place. And, like, with snus, I don't want to swallow it, but if you do, it's not the biggest deal in the world. And sometimes I'll accidentally swallow it. And, like, if
No,
that was
you're allowed to. It's made to be swallowed.
Right. Well, okay. Well, there you go. Even better. I don't try to, though. Like, I don't actively try to swallow it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I will. If that was regular dip, I'd fucking vomit everywhere.
Well, yeah.
I have
and
a
I do it
question.
every time.
Yeah.
a Russian dollhouse.
No.
Now, is that
I
like,
didn't mean Russian dollhouse. It's Russian.
well, they don't make them. It
Yeah.
just all the way down to a trailer.
What
at
do
the
I mean?
end.
What do I
A
mean?
Just
Russian
Russian
doll.
doll.
Russian
Just
dolls,
Russian
yeah.
doll.
Yeah.
The little nesting doll.
Well, where they live?
Russian. They live
Russia.
in a Russian
Yeah,
dollhouse.
in a Russian dollhouse. They live in a Russian trailer that is inside a house that is inside a Russian McMansion.
So, but yeah, like it's the grainy shit. Like it takes forever to get out, and like I'll end up swallowing that shit. and
Well,
I'll
you
fucking
swallow way more tobacco too with regular dip. Like inevitably, no matter what you're trying to do,
Right.
one way or the other, you're going to inevitably swallow more tobacco, and
Sure.
you have to get used to that. Period. Like, and it takes a lot of time.
puke. Yeah, and I don't want to do that. I want to use snus just for my cravings, and then when I decide I want to get off those, I'm gonna go to the fucking Nicorette patch, and then hopefully it'll be nothing. But like I've tried to do this so many times that I'm
Yeah.
not even gonna I'm not stupid enough to be like, nah, just fuck it. Like it don't work. Cold turkey. It may for some people, and you may be out there, and you may be just a better person than me. But like it, I tried cold turkey once. I made it 4 months, and then I went back to smoking even more than I smoked before.
Cold turkey is totally fine for me if I am also not drinking.
Right.
I can go days, weeks without a cigarette or a jewel, whatever, any nicotine of any kind if I'm also completely sober that whole time.
Yeah.
But the second,
Yeah.
I
Literal
drink
one
a
sip.
beer, yeah, right. The minute it crosses my lips, I get just a fucking
My dad-
insatiable craving for nicotine, and that's always been my number one problem.
My dad started chewing at 10. He started drinking
Damn
heavily
right.
at
Yeah.
about 13 or 14.
Was he chew?
He chewed Red Man.
Yeah, yeah.
We had a bunch of Red Man 10s. I don't know what Mom did with them. I bet they were probably worth $3. But anyway,
I don't know. Some of them at antique stores.
You might be right. He quit drinking cold turkey.
Hey, do they still make Red Man?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's one of them companies just like, say something.
Yeah,
We dare you
Dude.
to ask us to change our name.
No.
It ain't happening.
I didn't even consider
we
that.
are
but
Red
yeah,
Man.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
ain't no way that company gives a fuck.
Dude, you know what, man? I haven't even considered that that's what it was in a very long time.
The fucking pouches
No, I
used
know.
to be. I don't know if they still
No, it
are.
was. It's a
but
fucking Indian right on-
Indian looking
Yeah.
all Indian.
Well, I haven't seen the pouch in a very long time, but like Red Man just it just is
like
what
red
it,
ass.
Yeah,
That's
like
what
it
you
just
think
is in
of?
my head, and I forgot that it was
No. It's the Red
the
Man.
only person I know that still chews pretty heavy is Robbie's dad, Big Rob, and he's a Levi Garrett man, so I haven't seen the Big Red in a while.
Right.
Levi Garrett's racist, too. The person. Gotta
Yeah,
be.
right.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Anyway, he quit drinking cold turkey, and he said it was hard. He quit chewing cold turkey about 3 years later and was physically ill, like shitting himself and stuff like that for 7 days.
You know, it's...
Well, I'm like, and I know different people have different experiences, but you just made me think of the fact that the only two drugs that you can
kill
actually kill yourself by quitting cold turkey are booze and
Barbados.
benzos, right?
Yeah. Or
Xanax.
Yeah.
The thing that Xanax,
not heroin?
Benzodiazepam.
it won't kill. The withdrawals won't kill you. The only two that can kill you is alcohol.
Yeah,
and
you will
benzos.
want to kill your fucking self,
Right.
like 100%. But like, no, like literal, like with Xanax, it could just be as much as it triggers a seizure and you fucking die. Like it's pretty nuts. But with alcohol, like when you are a certain type of alcoholic, you almost like what do they?
Yeah, it looks like Red Man's still around, but this Red Man trucker hat's $35. We had 30 of those.
Does the trucker hat have the Indian on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, of course
And
it
a
does.
fish.
I only say that because like you can get Dukes of Hazzard stuff without the General Lee, without the rebel flag on the General Lee, and I, obviously think they did that for like we'd still like to sell some of this shit, and we know that some of y'all won't buy it for that because I'd rock a Red Man hat that didn't have the fucking red face Indian on it.
Well, if I like found out, that Indians owned the company, they very don't, then that'd be different too. But look, Red Man Gold Blend. Papa RL chewed that sometimes. He probably did it because
That
it was
was the
racist.
pouch.
Ain't that always been
used
the
to.
whole deal with Florida State's playing on TV right now? They've always been excused, right?
Because the Seminole tribe
Seminole Nation
says it's okay.
officially endorses it
That's
or whatever.
we got a black
and
friend,
they
I guess.
Florida State gives out scholarships to Seminole Nation kids every year or something like that. Like, so they fine.
They have
Sure.
a
but all the
relationship
rest of
with
them.
Well, also,
don't
I think but there's like a lot of differences. The Seminole is based upon an actual model, I think, like sat for that, or it's based on a real person's picture. I don't
His
remember the
face
whole
at least
story.
isn't red. I'll say that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It looks more realistic. It's not fucking. You know what I'm saying?
Well, obviously, also, redskin is a straight up literal slur, but it's not just the Redskins. It's also the Indians, the Cleveland Indians.
Chief Wahoo looks weird.
They're caricatures, so
That's
that
the
was a
word.
problem.
Well, so the Atlanta Braves have kind of been going through it a little bit this year. Now
I feel like they would be fine if not for a few minor things.
they are,
like
and
the fucking,
that's the thing. So that's the deal. That's the deal. Everybody's like, look, the fucking Braves, and they don't have like an Indian red face, and it's just a tomahawk. All that's fine, but it's the tomahawk chop when they score a home run or whatever. So the Braves, and this is
It
really,
is rad though.
It
does
super,
sound super
it's
rad.
It's like the rebel flag.
Right, yeah.
It's like, goddamn, look at it. It's awesome. But like, so what
I think part
they've
of
been doing is, and this was really funny to me. This year, they said at the beginning of the year, we're going to try to cut. If all the fans would help us and participate, we're going to try to start cutting down on the tomahawk chant. Not don't do it. It's kind of like Nicorette
Can't
patches.
go cold turkey.
No,
on
you
that.
can't. They're like, look,
Can't
just,
cold turkey quit racism. You
just
gotta
during
ease out of it.
Yeah, just during home run. Well, as fans do.
All right.
They've done it more.
Yeah, that
like
checks
because
out.
they told them not to. Now they're just like, oh, and it's one of those whole things. Where
That'll fade though.
That will fade, and I think that there's, probably, I don't know, man. Like I want to say, like there's more good people that go to baseball games than there are assholes.
Right,
but like,
But I don't really know. Like I was thinking about that.
It's an
the other
old
day,
person's
like,
game.
It is like in the like let's say big three, like baseball,
Well,
basketball.
dude, Cleveland Indians, right? Wasn't
Right,
it
they're
them
the-
where all those fans were standing outside telling those actual Indians to go fuck themselves and
Yes,
making fun
these
of them and
white
shit
people
outside of the
these
stadium?
white people were walking past literal Native Americans like, "Fuck you! I'm 1/16 Cherokee. Suck my dick, you goddamn Indian!" Like,
Right.
like I'm
Right.
literally quoting, I think, word for word.
And that was
something.
Cleveland. That was the Cleveland Indians.
That was the Cleveland
happened.
Indians.
Great
Right.
Cleveland accent.
Yeah.
I used to try to do a joke about this as far as museums. It never worked out because it just made people sad. But what's weird about it, the whole thing is, you got Spartans, you got, and I know that I'm not treading new ground here. This has been said before. But, like, we'll, take a museum. If you can go visit yourself as a museum display, there ought not be a museum display.
What do you mean? Like,
Wait, you
We
mean-
murdered most of
Yeah,
them.
but hold on.
Right.
But some of them
well,
are
but-
still alive, and
but-
it weren't that long ago.
Okay, but
True.
I don't know. That feels like you're saying.
Well, actually-
they ought just. That we did do that. That very don't hit. That's terrible. But like, it should be commemorated in some way.
Yeah, but
Like,
that
don't you
ain't,
think-
it ain't like a Native American museum that. There are Native American museums that commemorate what happened. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a display. I mean, you don't think it'd be weird for to take your your kid, if your people had been eradicated and then you took them to a museum, and not a Native American museum, just a museum, and a piece of it was, and here's pictures of our ancestors, and they're talking about them in an anthropological way as if they're dead when they're
mean,
not.
well, if they
I
are
don't
saying,
know.
if
They
they are
have-
saying like, there's none of these left, that would be
Also,
weird.
like
but
that's part of
like slavery
the
museums
story.
and-
Like
right.
that's. I feel like what you're
I feel like it'd
arguing
be
for
worse
is
to
like
not bring it up.
erasing history.
No,
basically.
come on. That's like that argument about getting rid of the statues.
No, because that's celebrating that shit.
But that's what I'm saying. If you have a museum and you've got all these cultures that are no longer here, it feels like celebration. You're dunking on people. Like, look, it's a fucking trophy case.
Yeah,
I think it would be worse not to bring it up at all. Like if you just were like, we're not going to talk about the Trail of Tears.
But they're not there's sometimes in those displays there is like a plaque about the Trail of Tears.
Right.
Like, and I agree we should talk about that, but then have a Native American history museum. Like,
do they not?
Don't-
Yeah, but if you go
Yes.
to an American history museum
Uh-huh.
and there's no
'Cause that is
Indian
American
shit
history.
in there anyway, that feels weird and wrong to me.
'Cause that is American
That don't make
history.
no sense.
yeah, okay, but I'm saying that part of colonialization is making people into museum piece. Native
Right.
Americans rarely
And that-
have museums. That ain't a thing they do.
I know, right.
Well,
And
at the
that
very
don't
least,
hit.
or ask them. Like, you're saying, don't erase it from history. I hear you, but it's our history. We're the ones making that museum.
Yeah.
I mean, and that part's starting to change. They are starting to have a Native American person come in and help with the display. But
Yeah.
if you go back to the 90s, the person making it was an anthropologist who was a white dude who studied at Harvard. And I'm not saying erase the history. Like, you're right. You don't want to just pretend it didn't happen. That's terrible. But it's just a part of colonialization. It's like, look, here's the Africans we conquered. Look, here's the Hispanic people we conquered, and here's the Indians we
no, I
conquered.
hear
That's
ya.
true, but that shit all already happened, and it wasn't ever cool on the part of the fucking colonizers.
Yeah, it's definitely about
But-
the phrasing in that situation.
But museums
it did
themselves-
all happen, and
Okay.
if you have a history museum, you need to cover all of that shit. Like,
But I guess what I'm saying is a big part of the quote-unquote history museum apparatus is colonial. Like, it's a
Right.
huge... I mean, it's what we
Inherently.
do. We go into a place, we take all their shit, then we put it
Put it
behind
in
a
a
trophy
museum.
case and go,
Yes.
look what we did.
Right.
And I realize as that's evolved over time that nerds who genuinely love history and or genuinely love Native American history have changed that. But it has to at least be a part of the conversation, I think. And that's not just me trying to be woke. It's weird. Like, if I was standing in a museum looking at that shit and I just turned to my right and there was clearly a Native American person there, it'd be like, in my head, I'd at least be like, man, I really hope that whoever made this display did it right.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
100% for sure. But I also feel like if I was in an American History Museum with a Native American and we walked through the whole thing and there wasn't no goddamn mention of Native Americans at all, I'd probably feel weirder. Although in that moment, looking at all that, I'd be like, ugh.
and I mean, I fuck with
Our bad.
museums, a fair amount, and I feel like museums
What if I just started screaming
they do
colonizer at
commemorate.
Trey?
They do commemorate all that this bloody history, I mean, you're right, and they are, in a way, they are fucking trophy cases. But like,
you see what joke
in my experience, the people in the museums and the way they operate the museums are all pretty like.
They try to be
respectful
unbiased.
and like reverential and stuff.
And I guess what I'm saying is it's really hard to
like
be
represent a culture accurately, as opposed to it's not like the fucking Cleveland Indians logo welcomes you to the museum, hands you a foam tomahawk, and it's like, and welcome to the Indian wing.
Free corn after the left turn.
Right,
yeah, like.
Right.
That
would be real fucked up.
Yeah, right.
The thing I just said. I guess
I'm making a joke.
I guess what I'm saying is being respectful and reverential is a lot easier with Spartans, I think.
Yeah.
Than it is.
That's ancient.
Right, and we're not connected to them.
Than it is when the very existence of the museum and your place at it is completely dependent upon murdering those people and taking their land.
I was just thinking,
and no museum says that. Hey, we murdered these people and took their land.
It'd be funny if you were just at a museum and you were looking at like some ancient Roman shit, and you looked beside you and there was just a Spartan
Caesar
standing
there crying.
Like, oh,
I'm just sitting there like,
sorry,
fuck it,
bro.
I guess I'm wrong.
But like you just said, no museum says, hey, we murdered these people and took their land, and like, I mean, that is literally true, but it's not at least in my recollection, in my experience, it's not like the Civil War was. If you grew up in the South, like I knew about the Trail of Tears, I knew about Andrew, like I knew about us coming and forcing them off of their land and the fucking smallpox blankets and all that fucked up. Like, I mean, I learned about all that shit,
Right?
You know,
which is another weird thing. How we learned. I mean, I learned way more about the pain of the Native Americans than I did the slaves, and I think it's because there weren't many of them around. Right. I literally think it was like it's easier for us to talk about that because there's none of them in the classroom.
That's that's 100%, man. Like when I
well, also just the whole in the South, especially the whole thing of having their own different narrative about the whole Civil War and slavery in the first place.
Right. Sure. No, so just to be clear, I think you're completely right as I'm thinking about it. Like, you don't want to go. It would be so much weirder if you went into a museum of American history and that weren't there.
Right.
But it's always felt like a trophy case to me.
Yeah. And
look at the shit we stole. Ain't it rad?
It is.
Fucking rad. No, put it behind glass.
I mean, it is.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I guess that's better than not.
When I was trying to do the joke, I was like, "This is a first place trophy, and this is a first place trophy, and here's a first place trophy. Now this is a second place trophy. France came in first on that one.
Nice.
Yeah. So people that hated it. But you're right. You can't erase it.
Right.
But there are, like, in New York, there is a Native American History Museum, and it's pretty fucking rad.
Do y'all think that the Redskins or change their name?
Yeah,
do you think they ever will?
No. Well, yes.
Ever?
I do.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
I think when he sells the team, whoever does a big campaign to buy it, that'll be part of their campaign to be allowed to buy it.
Yeah, but you know that dude is like 43 or something, right?
Yeah, it might be in 40 years.
He bought them. He was a .com boom guy who got out at the right time, and he bought the Redskins when he was like fucking 31 or 32 years old. So he's like not even 50 yet. So like, unless he does some Donald Sterling shit, which he might, because that motherfucker Dan Snyder is a maniac.
Yeah, he's crazy,
horrible.
Maybe like a mistress will murder
but
him.
Unless, dude. But here's the thing, y'all even remember? It wasn't that long ago. The fucking cheerleader thing that he did?
No.
He made their cheerleaders go on this like retreat to some Caribbean island, and there were all these like billionaire buddies of his who were down there, essentially like
trying to escort them out or something.
Pretty much, they didn't literally have to like prostitute themselves to these billionaires,
but it was the implication.
But he like provided the Washington Redskins cheerleaders at this party for all his billionaire buddies in the Caribbean, and people found out about it, and this was like not that long ago, like I said, like right around the time of Me Too, all that shit, and like it just kind of went away, which blew my mind. But like I'm saying, he's going to have to do some real fucked up shit for the NFL to ever actually take that team from him. And if they don't take that team from him, he's probably going to own it for like another half a century.
Yeah.
Like 40 more years, like a long time.
Do you think, and I know this probably ain't how these people operate, but like, eventually he'll just get sick of having to deal with it?
No.
And on the other hand, if he changes it, then he has to deal with a whole other type of thing, which is the shitty people.
Oh, he's been a colossal asshole about the whole thing so far.
It's wild.
He don't even seem close to considering changing it.
It's wild to think, and I think about shit like this a lot in terms of like sexism, racism, homophobia, just like the hierarchy and the way those things move. It's wild to think that Donald Sterling said, "I don't want you hanging out with black people."
Actually, he didn't even say that.
He said rappers.
No, he said it's fine if you hang out with them.
Right.
Don't bring them to my games.
Right.
And don't be putting them on Instagram and
right,
stuff.
Right. Don't flaunt it.
It's like if you want to be out there
doing
all that, that's fine.
He said that.
Right.
That was the thing he said, and it got recorded.
That was I'm fine with gay people, just don't do it around me.
Whereas Daniel Snyder made a group of women go to an island where they were clearly in fucking danger.
I know.
Because, dude,
that's what I'm saying.
It's sexism, and it's a specific type of sexism.
Yes.
Those were, their thoughts, they're bimbos. Those are pretty women, and like they're just not
also,
dude, even the fucking feminist movement is looking at those broads. I promise you, this is what's happening. A big section of the feminist movement is inside, like subconsciously going, women like that deserve it.
Well, right. They're cheerleaders.
Right.
They don't represent us anyways. They never wanted to be part of the
That's
feminist
what Carmen
movement.
was saying on the fucking podcast.
That's what fucking
Dolly
Parton
just
was
said.
saying.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole like I don't consider myself a modern feminist in the way that you say, because those type of people, in my experience, looked at me as a bleach blonde, big-titted bimbo piece of trash and never wanted to help me. It was always...
But that's putting it all on now. Like, I just want to be clear.
I don't necessarily agree with all of that.
Well, whether it's true...
That's her experience.
Whether it's true or not, I'm not blaming what happened with those cheerleaders and the fact that no one cared on the feminist movement, because when did the NFL give a fuck about the feminist movement?
Of course not.
I was saying that...
Why it got swept under.
It was allowed to get swept under because no one was rah-rahing because of that, but it got swept under in the first place because the NFL doesn't give a fuck about women.
The NFL's horrific, but on the other end of that spectrum, though, is that the NBA is very, very black.
That's true.
Like appropriately so,
Yeah.
and in a good way. But like black culture is very intrinsically interwoven into what the
they were going to lose money
and what the NBA is, and the specific thing that he did in the specific league that he did it was just like you can't have that.
And
shit.
as you said in the NFL,
but like
women
in the NFL, they don't give a
they'll
fuck
let
about
you
women.
punch them
and
Why
keep
wouldn't they
playing.
let them go to a
Exactly.
goddamn island
Whereas
you
and
can
be
beat the
escorted?
fuck out of them and keep playing.
Whereas-
in
So,
NFL.
like, honestly, going to an
Right.
island, that seems like the best case scenario for a woman in the fucking NFL.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, she could probably fight a billionaire, too. She can't fight a goddamn linebacker.
Right.
Sure.
If Harry Connick Jr. had done it, it'd be like, oh, he's got a lot of women fans.
Man, he is like Frank Sinatra, finally.
It'd be a problem.
The Dolly thing, though, y'all talking about from that Radiolab series?
Which I haven't listened to yet, but I saw that quote.
I listened to it. I heard the quote you're talking about, and it sounds like where you saw it, they did not include the fact that later in the episode. So it was wild. He asked her, "Do you consider yourself a feminist?" And you could like hear her physically recoil at it, like the word disgusted her, kind of. And then she went into that whole explanation y'all just laid out. Later on in the episode, though, and I can't remember now, and I don't want to butcher it, but the interviewer like reframed the question to be like, "Would you say it's fair to say then that you have always tried to represent the plights of women and whatever?" Like he put it in different terms without saying the word feminist.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, well, if you put it that way, then I mean, yes, I would agree with that. And I do consider myself, active in that way or whatever. Like she kind of she didn't like backpedal on it. But what I'm saying is, if you just take the first quote completely out of context, it sounds like she's just like hardcore adamantly like against the whole notion of it, and that's not really exactly how the whole conversation played out.
I hear you, because there's probably not that long ago, honestly, if you'd asked me like, hey Corey, do you consider yourself a Democrat? I would have been like, well, no, hell no. I don't consider myself aligned to any particular party, and I think the two-party system at whole is bullshit, and it's what's holding us back in this country, and I could see myself blah, 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 blah. But then if they reframed it and said, all right, let me go down the line here. Do you believe in this, and this? And I'd be like, yeah. And they're like, well, you're a fucking Democrat. And I go, yeah, you're right. Actually, I am a Democrat. It's just that the word sort of used to make me recoil because I didn't want to consider myself fucking anything, because there were shitty Democrats who, probably looked at Dolly Parton the way that she said feminists did.
But like, when did that change? Because you know that it changed because like feminists nowadays, they all adore her, like everybody on earth adores her. But like, I believe that was her experience. I know that she's telling the truth.
Probably
about
the
that
gay movement.
But like, at what point did that flip for them?
So due to modern technology, and since we are in this space, let's hear from a woman. We have a fan and someone I'm a fan of.
I told her we were going to read this thread on the podcast.
And then you forgot?
But now
we're doing it. All right. Rachel, who is a professor. I don't know if we should say her last name. Maybe we should.
I always feel weird about that.
She said this is fine.
All right. She's a teacher at the University of Tennessee, and she went viral. I think Sarah Smarsh retweeted it. Anyway, here's the thread. Listening to the end of Dolly Parton's America, let me tell you, I'm not shocked or angry. Dolly vehemently rejects feminism. Here's why. My great-grandmother would run a man over with her Thunderbird for looking at her the wrong way. She wore her long hair, a faux pas for old ladies in the South, and wore red lipstick and dresses to church. She kept marbles in socks inside her purse in case she needed a whoop an ass that day. She kept baseball bats behind every door in her house, and she hated men. Men wronged my great-grandmother her entire life. Her husband and dad were alcoholics. She got pregnant at 15 and gave birth in a field when she didn't even know how babies were born. She didn't have the patience for men. She divorced her husband in the 40s, read a big-ass deal in the 1940s South, and married an Italian-looking guy named Quittin just to piss her husband off. Hell yeah.
Italian-looking guy.
When he straightened up and dried out...
This thread fucking rules, dude.
When he straightened up and dried out, she remarried him. My great-grandmother didn't finish middle school. She worked hard. I don't even know what job she had because they were probably considered too meaningless for my family's collective memory. Feminism in the 1970s did not care about my grandmother.
Right.
Detested her, actually.
Right.
She was poor. She had big boobs and big hair. She didn't go to college, and she didn't want a corporate job. If you asked my great-grandmother what she thought about feminism, she'd probably think about the horn-rimmed glass college girls in Florence that looked at her like she was trash, and she'd tell those women to go fuck themselves. They never worked like her. They theorized. Dolly Parton has no patience for feminism because of how feminists treated her. She was a makeup-wearing bimbo that objectified her own body. She doesn't know, and I can't say this word, it's French, Sisu. She has no serious quote-unquote serious contributions to feminist discourse or corporate takeovers. Classism is rampant in third-wave feminism. It was worse in second wave when Dolly faced ridicule for coming from the holler and looking like a beautiful decorated Christmas tree. Feminism has come a long way, but Dolly's generation of poor women who have superficial, in quotes, interests were deeply hurt by their exclusion and ridicule from the movement. I ain't mad she said she's not a feminist. I just wish she would point out that the problem is wealthy white women. Women who work, who didn't go to college, who have kids to feed and a bitchin' husband, so do not give a flying shit about your subaltern communities of transnational power usurpation, and I don't blame those women. A feminism that doesn't include poor women is a joke, and Dolly knows that. This is the last tweet. And Dolly knows that, even if she says she ain't a feminist, because feminism means hating men. When women say they're often, when women say that, they're often When women say that, they're often pointing to the fact that feminism neglects class struggles, which men and laborers go through too. So, Sarah Smarsh rightly pointed out, the part of us that gets mad when clearly feminist women say they aren't feminist is the part of us that got to go to college. The part that is privileged enough to theorize.
Well,
I asked her if she would come on the podcast and talk about that, and she said no, because when I'm recorded, I sound like a female boomhauer.
Well, that makes me even more upset.
I know, it would have hit so hard to hear that read as a female boomhauer, but that was great.
That was great. If we could, though, I'd like to go back to speaking for women, if that's all right. No, it just made me think that, like, one thing that Katie gets upset about,
Kirby does too, I know what you're about to say,
is that, like, Katie feels like feminists today, like the current iterations of feminists, you know, look down on her because she actually raises her children or whatever, which I do think is fucking bullshit and a shitty attitude to have. Because, like, somebody, like, having kids, it's better for the kid. Any kind of study or anything will tell you it's better for the kids to have at least like one parent to not be in some kind of caretaker situation for fucking 11 hours a day because of,
and some people can't do that.
Do
shit.
you know
most
anyone
people,
who would argue with
most
that?
people
though?
can't do that. Most people can't because they're not because the way America works now. You got to fucking work 2 jobs. Both parents have to work. They got to work multiple jobs, and that fucking sucks. I'm not judging the people that do that. I'm saying like we're lucky to be able to not do that.
Yeah.
And the fact that Katie is able to do that, but still feels like she gets looked down upon by feminists or whatever for that is fucked up.
Kirby feels the same way. My sister, I've talked to her before, and it was kind of similar to like the Dolly thing where we were talking one day, and I was just like, I mean, do you not consider yourself a feminist? And she gave a pretty similar answer, which was like, you know, I chose to stay home and take care of my daughter, and she's like, I genuinely want to be a homemaker and stay at home, and like that I take pride in that. Like I love cooking for my husband, I love doing the laundry, and she can't love none of this too much because she's not fucking great at it. I love you, Kirby, but all I'm saying is that she's like, I want to do those things. Like I'm not doing it because like my husband's like, by God, the woman stays at home. Like he doesn't feel that way at all, but she wants to do it, and she's like, to me, I should be like, feminism should be like, fuck yeah, I can do whatever I want, and I don't feel that that's the narrative. That's how she feels.
I'm sure they don't all feel that way, obviously. I'm just
Of course not. That's generalizing.
I mean, I think the modern iteration of it is cognizant of that and has worked pretty hard to change that narrative. But A, that narrative was earned in the time period of Dolly and later. And then B, that narrative was used, frankly, by, you know, the first wave of anti-feminism to paint feminism into a corner that feminism had earned, I think.
Sure.
At that time.
That what I just said is the argument that people use against, like, all they want to do is they actually bash women more than fucking.
Right.
I hear you. Yeah.
Right, which again, I'm just repeating a thing that my wife has said to me about it.
No, I'm certain literal human beings have made both of those.
There's a reason
feel
Kirby,
that way.
There's a reason Kirby feels
that
way.
I am only stating that I think it's been recognized, generally speaking, and I think people are working on it. But that also goes back to something we've talked about in terms of the South, something we talked about in terms of racism, something we talk about in right versus left. We all keep getting known for our assholes, and social media is making it so much worse. I mean, I know that everyone's complaining about how social media is driving us apart, but I do feel like one reason that is the case for that, and not a lot of people are talking about it, is if you're an asshole about how you feel, you get pushed to the forefront.
Right.
Or if you're loud, I should say. Not even an asshole, just loud.
I have conservative buddies who think Ben Shapiro's the biggest fucking dork on earth.
The
and he's like, he don't speak for me.
The reasonable opinions and takes are not interesting.
Of course not.
So, like...
That don't make headlines.
Right. But people don't parrot, though. And also, like, dude, I kind of think, I agree with you completely, but I know for a fact that I'm guilty of it. I think it's like human nature, kind of, because, like, I mean, we do that same exact thing with, like...
We're the loudest.
No, I'm talking about us as a group in the opposite direction.
For sure.
We do the same exact thing with rich people or people from California or whatever.
Fuck rich people.
I'm just saying, like,
well,
they're not like, dude, being completely honest, I talk about the people in California that I run into that I can tell think my accent is fucking silly or fake or whatever.
Sure.
That does happen.
It's a boring story.
That does happen a lot, but most of the people I run into like it.
Yeah.
Frankly,
sure.
I mean,
most of them like it.
I found that in New York.
They find that it's either cute or interesting or different or whatever, and not in a bad way. But I only talk about the shitty ones because those are funnier and whatever else. But, like, I just think that everybody kind of does that in all directions, and it is shitty.
To defend you, when I came home from New York the first time, everybody wanted to know about the pricks in New York and, like, how shitty they were to me. And I was like, man, I'll be honest with you, I'm sure that exists. But in my experience, and granted, I hang out mostly in Queens, but everyone's been really awesome to me, and they take my accent as something that's cool, and they want to know more about me instead of just laughing at me. And as soon as I'd say that, they would just be like, oh. Because that ain't what they wanted to hear.
Right.
They wanted to hear the fucking gnarly shit. They were there for the goddamn drama. That's how we are as fucking people. That's why soap operas work so well.
Yeah, but I think the way you fight that is to not overreact to the assholes.
Right.
And I mean, dude, fucking a conversation I got into on Twitter with Christopher Moore, where as the conversation progressed, he and I were both proven right by different people. And it was super weird. I guess some people who are really into Bernie Sanders have been super shitty to him. And I just
Christopher,
and
Christopher Moore, a friend of the podcast, 4 or 5 episodes back, buy all his books.
And I just I had retweeted something someone said, and then he was essentially arguing with that tweet, but to me, and I was like, yeah, I totally believe you. I believe someone was shitty to you. I don't think that's a reason.
The person that you retweeted was one of the people.
No.
Okay.
The tweet that I retweeted was something along the lines of it was like a sarcastic tweet. It was like, I believed in single payer health care, and until someone claiming to be a Bernie Sanders fan was mean to me online, and now I don't believe in it anymore.
Oh, okay.
And I retweeted it. It was sarcasm because I was like, yes, I feel that I believe people in the name of Bernie Sanders are being shitty
that
online.
Don't mean he's shitty.
I mean,
that
that's happened to me before.
Right. I brought that up in the conversation with him. And then some people were shitty to him. One in particular who, when I said, okay, you're being a fucking douche right now, said, you know what, you're right, my bad. But then other people were arguing with him, just like, well, not arguing with him. They were like, all right, so do you like his policies or not? Like, aside from that. And I'm not trying to put Chris on Front Street. He expressed himself very well in that, and he has his feelings and his political beliefs, and he's entitled to them. My only point with this is that happened the other day. That's why I brought it up. I am working on not letting assholes speak on behalf of an entire group anymore. And like, it's easy for me when my aunt is like kind of conservative, but I know she's a sweetheart,
right?
And I go, oh, I can do it there. It's harder on the internet, but I'm gonna try to not do that anymore. Exactly. So not everyone who's a dickhead Bernie Sanders supporter, that doesn't mean that's how all Bernie supporters are. Not everyone who supports, I don't know. Well, fuck it. Donald Trump is a horrible fucking person. Although at this point, we got to be dwindling him down.
Dude, Donald Trump in particular, but I do know.
Well, then it's his policies.
Right.
It's the things he's doing.
His policies
and
are
if you
bad.
like what he's doing,
right. His policies are bad. Like
Right.
if his policies weren't just so abhorrent, but he just was still the same way, I'd be like, okay, whatever. But that's not the case.
Take politics out of it, dude. All right, let me think of an example. Fuck it, I can't believe we're getting.
Well,
into
what
this
you're
again.
saying,
Taylor
though,
Swift fans are some of the fucking biggest responders. Like one of the funniest ones they did. Kid Rock shit on Taylor Swift.
Complete opposite.
And or actually, I can't believe. Wait, this might have been Beyonce fans.
Was it The Rock?
No, it was Kid Rock.
Okay.
But I can't remember if it was Taylor Swift fans or Beyonce fans. Either way, this is funny, but this is how intense these people are. He shit on them,
right.
And now every day they comment on his Instagram posts. They did this for like a year.
Yeah.
Like they would flood his Instagram with Beyonce memes and shit like that.
Beyonce's got the Beehive, and that's a real fucking thing.
There's a few of those fan bases that do shit like I know Beliebers do that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Lady Gaga's fans did a whole like online smear campaign against Venom, the movie, because A Star Is Born came out the same time Venom did.
Right. And that's
like that type of shit.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
It is
crazy.
crazy. It's completely
That's religion.
crazy.
But that has,
that's literally religion.
Right.
Cult of personality.
Yeah.
But that has so little to do with reality. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's where social media.
But like, and that's the thing that you need to like, and it's fucking difficult to look at a conservative on social media and go like, all right, let me treat this person as if I knew them instead of just because like I've got buddies who are conservative, and like when I'm online, I look at the Donald Trump thing and I go, God damn it, man! At this point, all conservatives are just fucking huge pieces of shit. Then when I go home, I'm hanging out with someone, I'm like, they're fucking not even at all pieces of shit, and I like them and they're super redeemable. But if I see somebody who just kind of thinks some of the same things they do online, I have to like remove myself from the computer before I get banned from Twitter for half the shit I'm about to say.
Another thing I'll say about conservatives in general.
They don't hit.
Wait,
don't-
sorry.
they don't
the TV
hit.
just distracted me. Y'all got to watch this fucking play. I
saw
don't
it.
even know what I
Get
just
in.
saw.
That was rad. That was a great interception.
What about conservatives?
Conservatives are very good at using what we're talking about against us, though, like respectability politics.
Yeah, right.
And
Right.
shaming. It's like waiting on being
deplorables.
passive aggressive douchebags. And then as soon as we call them out on it, then they're like, see, you can't even talk to these people.
Yeah, right.
And I hate that, and I'm sensitive to it because I watch them use that against black people, trans people. Like, you know what I mean? They pick their battles, and it makes me fucking sick. And so it's like the other side of this coin is I'm trying to be this way online. I'm trying to go, you know what? I'm not going to judge every group by the worst versions of that group. I got to stop doing that. I'm guilty of it. The other thing that I'm trying to do is just always fucking tell the truth and stand behind it, and don't ever apologize for it when you do. Fuck them. You know what I mean? If they're going to try to use it against me, I don't give a fuck, dude. Your opinion don't matter to me anymore. I just told the truth. You were being a dickhead. I'm not saying every Trump fan's a dickhead. You're a fucking dickhead.
Be mad at racism itself. Don't just go, well, this
Right.
guy's a conservative and he's a racist, therefore
Sure.
the problem is conservatives. No, the problem is fucking racism, and that's what I should be mad at. And when I say he's racist and he's a conservative, there you go. There's the connecting point. Now I'm not even solving anything, because every conservative that's not a racist goes, well, goddamn, I can't even. I don't even want to talk to you because you're just going to think I'm a fucking racist for no goddamn reason.
And it's truly magic when someone can navigate that exact thing online or in politics in general. AOC's great at it. What's that name? Andrew. He ran for governor of Florida, and he just barely lost. Young black guy.
I know what you're talking about.
He was phenomenal at it. You know, that guy would his opponent would try to bait him. Andrew Gillibrand.
And he lost. Andrew Gilliland.
Fuck.
Gillibrand.
No,
I feel like
that
Kristen
right.
Gillibrand is who I'm thinking of. Anyway, he was so good at it during that campaign where the dude would try to bait him into either apologizing or being a huge dick, and he would do neither. He would he would just repeat his truth, you know.
Yeah, and he lost.
Barely.
Right, which is
mean,
good.
Yeah, I mean, and who knows? It's Florida. He probably got cheated out of it.
For sure. And I mean, that was his first go at it. He's young, right?
Yeah, I want him to run for president.
For sure.
I really did. Let me ask you guys this:
Yeah.
when are y'all gonna just like completely unplug and just live in the woods?
There's a dollar amount. I'm not gonna say what it is, but like there's a dollar amount where like I'll still come into town and vote for what I think's right, but I ain't getting on the goddamn internet.
No, man, I like
I
like Netflix and Uber Eats too much.
Okay, when he says the woods,
Bring some chicken to my house.
I interpret
bring
that
weed
as
to my house. Turn on Netflix. Like,
I interpret that as
I'm a
his
big fat
version of the
piece of
woods
shit.
is his version of just unplugging, freedom, fuck everything.
No, he literally means.
I know
woods.
he means the woods, but what I'm saying is like my version of running into the woods would just be like having my house be just a compound where like I've got a bunch of money, my family just hangs out there. I create my own little bubble. I'm still fucking living in Georgia. I don't get on fucking Twitter and see what all bad things are happening. That's fucking dangerous, and that is what happens to people when they get a lot of goddamn money. That's clearly what the fuck happened to Kanye. He truly don't believe that there's a lot of fucking problems in his community anymore because to him, his community has gotten this fucking big, and he's like, what? Nobody's racist to me. Donald Trump let me in his goddamn house. So like, but like I said, I'm gonna do that shit, but I'll still go vote, and I'll still be like, all right, who said that gays are cool? I'll go vote for that shit. But like, yeah, I can see myself getting to a point where I'm like, you know what? I've only got this one goddamn life, and if I can just be happy, then I'm gonna do it.
On that note, talking about Kanye and the lack of perspective and all this, it's something I wanted to bring up.
Kanye's
briefly.
mentally ill, though.
Yes.
Like, he's like mentally ill.
For sure.
But anyway, you're talking about his lack of perspective because of the world he's lived in for so long. That reminded me of something I wanted to bring up. We don't have to go fully into it, but we recently cursed LeBron James.
Oh, God, we did. We do that.
We had a whole conversation about how
he's never done anything
amazing
wrong.
he was because he's never had any like genuine like scandals. Like the decision was a thing, but that was totally sports based. It wasn't
Who
a
gives
thing
a
about
fuck? Yeah.
him as a person.
Like he's
or
allowed to
anything.
go to Miami. Who
Never had any
gives a shit?
scandals. Married his high school sweetheart. By all accounts, good dad. All this stuff. It's like and it's crazy that that athlete on that level could have, done that for this long without anything happening.
And then we also said, like, and at this point, it's just never going to happen.
And then less than a couple weeks after we said that, he had this whole China thing where he basically, sided with China versus Hong Kong because of money. I mean, pretty much that's the
only reason.
Oversimplified version of it, but I mean, it is the truth. He wants that China money for Space Jam too, and the NBA makes a lot of money in general in China. So like, but that's still like my thing with it is like. He didn't have to say
at all,
anything.
he's still gonna get money.
Like, even if you do feel that way, okay.
Nobody has leverage over LeBron
don't
James.
Say nothing. No. But he instead he did, and the one thing I had said about it is how much the internet has like roasted his ass since then, like making memes of LeBron as Mao Zedong, like with that bald horseshoe haircut and like the Chinese uniform on or whatever. And then I saw one where they photoshopped him. So the current president of China, the joke on the internet is that he looks like Winnie the Pooh. So they photoshopped.
And he kind of does.
They photoshopped.
Makes him furious too. That's
Of course
why people
it does.
That's why
going
people
with
keep going with it, because he can't stand it. But anyway, so somebody photoshopped a picture of LeBron on all fours on a basketball court like this, and they photoshopped Winnie the Pooh in a sickle and what's it called, the hook and sickle, or the communism,
the communist sign, yeah, the
on
hammer and
hammer and sickle, with the hammer and sickle on Winnie the Pooh's shirt, butt fucking LeBron James been over on the court with like that type of shit. So I mean, the internet, as always,
coming through.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just pretty disappointing. And for me personally, I don't really feel like there's any way to spin it. Other than
he's done a bad thing.
He just keeps being LeBron and keeps hitting on the court and all that. It'll be fine in the long run, but it was a pretty massive fuck up. I'm
pretty heartbroken, honestly, because I wasn't as bothered by the decision as you. I mean, it was a massive fuck up, and it was a douchey thing. But he also gave a fuck ton of money to kids that day.
He was also way younger back then.
Right.
he was real young when that happened.
And to be clear, when I say it was a fuck up, I just mean the way he announced,
the way he handled it.
Yeah. But
I hated it at the time. Looking back on it, whatever.
It don't even make a blip on the radar of shit that happened.
Was not a big deal. No. As a sports fan at the time, I did not like it.
I defended it at the time, saying this don't hit, but come on, like if this is the worst thing he ever does, he's basically Jesus, because he's had so much privilege and ability to do whatever he wants. Not as a younger man, but as he got into being a man. Pretty early in his life, he could do whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And by virtue of that, him not being a shithead was so impressive to me, and I loved watching him play basketball. I mean, real basketball heads know he's a great fucking player. The only people who don't buy into it are Kobe Bryant stands. Yes, idiots, exactly. We said the same thing.
No, I know. We did.
And for the record, I love Kobe. He's one of the 15 or so best players ever. But but
I love Kobe Bryant. But
I think that he's been corrupted by a desire for money and power.
What you said was he's been able to, from a very young age, do whatever he wants. It is starting to seem like what he wanted the whole time and wants is to not only be the greatest basketball player that ever lived. Obviously, he wants that, and he's done a great job in that front. But also be like a mogul and an empire, have an empire.
But it seemed like part of the reason he wanted that,
be a billionaire and be a
But part of it seemed like, and he stated, frankly, that part of the reason he wanted that was to show black kids in America that you can do it. A, and B, to give back to his community. I mean, he's built so many schools, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm not saying that I was naive enough to believe that there wasn't some greed or some power hunger and stuff in there. It felt like, and clearly I am naive to have thought this in retrospect, it felt like he not only wanted to do it, he wanted to do it on his own terms, and that his terms were terms that I could generally get behind. And you can say, well, okay, Drew, he did that his whole career, now he makes one mistake. To me, it's pretty fucking egregious.
It is egregious.
Because
if you're showing those kids that a black man in America can do that, but you can only do that by selling out to fucking human rights abusers or whatever, like, then that's still not a good message to say. Right, yeah, exactly. Like, if you got to sell your soul to be able to accomplish that, whether you're black or white or whatever.
The only argument...
And to accomplish what? To become an extra fucking millionaire? Like, it's not like, oh, if I don't do this shit, it's all going to start crumbling down in fucking front of me. Like, it's literally just greed at this
The only argument that's, I guess, not swayed me, but that I'm like, all right, that's something I hadn't thought of, and it's a fair point. And this is not in any way to defend him. It's sort of to make the stance I'm taking look silly, is this. Okay, so the dude who sells sneakers made by kids in China, you're suddenly shocked that he won't stand against, like, his whole career he's been selling out for a human rights abuse situation, because that's Nike's whole business model is to have labor so cheap, made in places where the working conditions are abhorrent. And I realize how easy it is for me to say this talking onto a microphone that was probably made with technology mind. You know what I'm saying? At the very least, the fucking phone.
We got iPhones.
It was made in Germany.
Yes.
They ain't never done anything bad.
But at the very least, yeah, right.
That's all right.
At the very least, the fucking phone in my hand. But, the counter to that is, what choice did he have? Genuinely, as a young 18, 19-year-old entering the NBA, he lives in a capitalistic society that he has no power to change.
And also, like we were saying, he could have just not said anything. Like, to me, everything you just said, that's ultimately way more on Nike than it is on any of the athletes who are with Nike. But, like, this thing, though, he could have just not said anything, and it would have been because nothing would have changed about everything you just said. That still all would have remained true. But like the fact that he came out like and just laid it all out there like that.
This is one of those situations
made
where
it worse.
You should have just shut up and dribbled.
Right.
Honestly.
Yeah, that's the irony of the whole thing.
As shitty as that sounds, like in this one situation, it's like, ugh. Like again, right? Like you said, like it wouldn't have hurt him to say nothing.
I have to disagree, and the reason I have to disagree is
you think there was just so much pressure that they were like, you got to say something.
No,
man.
what I was going to say is, you can't say you should shut up and dribble to every time an athlete says something you don't like.
I know,
and then like what he should have done was stood with the people of Hong Kong.
Yes,
right. Yeah,
right.
Actually,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
you're right. You're right.
And he
but
didn't.
in this situation, saying nothing would have been better than not.
Okay, but another thing about
But yeah, you're right.
Well, for him, another
yeah.
thing I'll say about that, I don't want people to shut up and dribble. And this is like that Patton Oswalt joke about how, like, we get rid of the N word, we don't know who the racists are anymore.
Right. Oh, that was Roy Wood Jr.
That's Roy talking about rebel flags.
Oh,
and
right.
gas stations.
You're right.
Patton was talking about how you get mad at some guy who's. It was actually the F word. But anyway, what was I saying? I don't fucking know.
You don't think you want him to lay it out there so we know.
I'm kind of glad to know that I know this about LeBron. There's a part of me that's like, okay, I know that about him.
I could have been left in the dark and it'd been okay, I think.
I
But I hear
think-
what you're saying. Like, I want to, like, at least now we know where everybody stands.
One thing that is wild about the whole deal is like, just as far as LeBron, the persona or the brand or whatever, like I can't think. I was saying this the other day to y'all off mic. I can't think of any other like major athletic superstar that's gone through like multiple face and heel turns.
It's crazy.
Like this. That's not normally how it goes.
No.
It's normally like either people hate them or
Yeah.
they love them, and maybe they'll have one shift in
Yeah.
opinion in the course of their career.
Yes.
And that's about it. LeBron has been beloved, reviled, beloved, and now reviled again. And I'm sure he'll get back to beloved again,
Right.
too.
Like Dennis Rodman.
And that's pretty wild.
Dennis Rodman has been straight down the fairway pretty
Right.
much the whole time. Like, that people have hated him for different reasons.
Right.
But it's always been he was kind of a fucking heel.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, you're right. And, yeah, it's fucking – it is – I can't think of anybody else that's been like that.
I know you disagree with me, but I still stand by my Broadway Joe is the closest thing. He shipped it a few times.
I just feel like he was a version of what Corey is saying, man, that like he was always polarizing. Like the people that hated that shit that he did, they hated him the whole time. And then other people were like, oh, he
But
ruled.
I
never
don't think
changed.
that's entirely true. I think that
mean, you
the
might
New
be
York
right. I
Jets
don't
were
know, man.
super into him, and then some people who remained into him, but some people jumped ship when he started dressing like a woman and shit like that. Then he became that guy.
I just
And
thought
then
he
was
came out the gate like that.
I mean, he kind of did, but I mean, that wasn't year one because he was a nobody till he won that Super Bowl.
When he called that shit,
right?
which was
Joe
awesome.
Namath was like considered a mediocre quarterback for his first few years in the league. New Yorkers liked him because he was tough and he was brash and he's guaranteeing victories. He wins. Now he's launching to superstardom. He's got this huge fan base. Then he starts dressing like a woman. Some of them turn on him. But then as that kind of thing gets more accepted and he becomes an announcer, he's got this later part of his career where he's beloved again. And then he tries to molest
Susie Colbert. On
but
camera.
I agree with you that he was a polarizing guy. And
He
had
just
haters
said,
and
"I would
fans
like
the
to
whole
kiss
time.
you." That's a little bit different than
Yeah, he didn't
molest.
literally try. He
Right,
was just
yeah.
drunk
Yeah, I meant to
and
say
was like-
harass.
Yeah.
He just said, "I'd like to kiss you," and I mean, don't get me wrong, he ought not said that, but like,
Yeah, he didn't grab her fucking
no,
face
no,
or nothing.
He just was
But,
drunk. He said a thing he felt.
Joe, I was something I
Did
want
he do it on TV?
Yeah.
On camera?
Literally, she was interviewing him, and
You
he was
haven't ever
hammered,
seen it?
and
That,
she-
I have seen it. I'm saying like that's a
she-
little different than just he said a thing.
No,
he
no,
felt.
I know, but she was trying to ask. She asked him some question. He was so visibly fucked
Right.
up,
Hammered drunk.
He didn't hear the question. He just goes, "I'd like to kiss you right now."
Right. I'm saying that in the context of you're doing an interview, that's a little different than just saying how you feel at a bar.
I agree. I'm just saying, like, when that happened, it was kind of a big deal
because she had to, you know what I mean? Like in a bar, she can be like, yes, no, get the fuck away from
Right.
me. But
It was
on
weird.
TV, she had to be like,
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that even in the context of that, it wasn't that bad. Like the Musburger thing, I didn't think was too fucking rough for what it was.
What did he do?
He was
Yeah.
he
just said that
he was the quarterback. It was Alabama's quarterback. AJ McCarron.
Was it AJ McCarron?
It was AJ
or
McCarron's girlfriend.
It was
John-
his girlfriend?
We'll say it was. It don't
Okay.
fucking matter. She was like Miss Alabama or whatever.
Right.
And they were in a game, and they just panned over to her, and he goes, "Oh, I'll tell you what, that A.J. McCarron's a lucky man. Any boys at home, go outside and start practicing football because that's what can happen for you." He called a woman pretty. I mean, he was old and it sounded old and creepy, but like again, with some of the shit that you hear, it's like,
he didn't get in that bad of trouble for that, did he?
Man, I mean,
he still works. He still works. He's the Oakland Raiders radio guy.
Oh, he got
Vegas.
fired?
He was already old, and it was like his time was coming up.
Did
anyway.
he get fired?
He didn't get fired
that year.
He didn't get fired
like immediately.
But when that happened, it just kind of was like they started reevaluating. Like, do we really need Brent Musburger? You know what I mean?
Wash now.
I'm just saying.
But that's like you made a mistake as an announcer. Your job as an announcer.
Yeah.
I don't know. If he got fired the next day, I would be like, that's a total overreaction.
Yeah, I agree.
It sounds like people were like, oh, he's old.
Yeah.
Right, he is old.
And old people do be
old.
getting fired for being old. And I'm not saying
Right.
that's right or wrong, but it be happening.
I mean,
they get fired for doing an old thing, not
Right.
just their age. And everybody's like, oh, that's ageism. It's like, no, it's just that sometimes when you get old, you be doing stupid
Right.
shit. I don't know what to tell you.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, so you're done. You're
You're
supposed to
right.
die.
You're supposed to.
Yeah.
Like,
We live too long now. We got pills
Yes.
that like used to right before you started saying stupid shit.
You
Actually,
died.
back in those days, you just stayed saying stupid shit. But like, yeah,
Right.
you'd fucking check out and it'd be okay.
Yeah.
But now you take a couple pills, and
Yes.
now we're finding out what 80
I
looks like to
don't
hear.
want to
Woof.
be 80 in this computer, whatever fucking world we're going to have. I don't want to do
Well,
that.
I do, just because the thing is that like for the 80-year-olds, it's just like, all right,
Right.
whatever. Like, it's
Yeah,
part-
because they
it's-
also don't
they
get
don't give a
They don't
shit.
give a
Like,
fuck.
Cancel me, bitch.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're, that's what I'm saying. Like, it kind of be fun. Like, that's the one moment in your life you get to sit down and just be like, all right, that's true retirement. Like, I've
And-
worked my ass off.
right.
I've been a good person, and you know what? Cracks knuckles, let it rip,
And,
bitch. Like, let's
and
go.
you're not being a bad person because it's not you're saying things you don't believe in. It's just that the things you believe in don't hit for people anymore.
Right.
It's either Daniel.
You're true to
Tosh-
yourself.
It's either Daniel
Damn it,
Tosh
you've
or
changed my whole life. Now I have
I
to
can't
live.
wait.
it's either Daniel Tosh or Nick Swartzen. One had a pretty famous bit about that, like back in the when they were on the come up about like when you get to be old and you can just do whatever the fuck you want.
It was
you
Swartz,
know?
and I think.
it was
Who's talking about
Swartzen.
farting and shit?
It was just like stealing candy bars at the gas
Yeah.
station. It's like, hey, did
I'm
you just steal
old.
that? It's like, I'm old. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Never
My
mind.
bad.
Talk about like how cool it would be if you had to tell somebody your grandfather died. It's like, oh, what happened? Was it cancer or whatever? It's like, nah, I flipped his vet. It was rough.
Yeah.
It was a whole long bit that was funny. Those are the only parts of it I can remember. We're about to be finishing up here. There's one thing I have to ask Cho before we go this week because I saw this the other day and I was like, I wonder if he knows that. Like, you're the one person in my life who I think even might know this. But if you don't, I won't be surprised, and it don't reflect poorly on you either.
I'm sure it does somehow.
Do you know the Pillsbury Doughboys' real name?
I'm certain I've heard it at one point in my life, but no, actually, I don't know it.
Poppin' Fresh.
That's stupid.
Poppin' Fresh. That's why everybody calls them the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Right. No, I didn't know that at all.
With Poppin' Fresh. It sounds like he's going to have like a mixtape.
I was about to say
cinnamon
that
rolls.
was his original name?
Yeah.
Because that sounds like a very, like, okay.
Like a
they're
fellow
gonna
kids
They're going to
thing.
rebrand him.
Like, hey,
Pils-
fellow kids.
Yeah, like.
You know who's real hip?
Poppin'
Poppin' Fresh.
Yeah, Pillsbury Doughboy, we've done that. We need to sell cookies to millennials. No, that ain't Pillsbury Doughboy. That's Poppin' Fresh. Like, that's
Yeah.
his rebrand. No, I didn't know that shit at all. He does hit for me very hard.
Yeah, I know.
And I have one of my favorite shirts that I have is a Pillsbury Doughboy shirt. And would you like to know the sad irony of that being my favorite shirt?
It's too small for you.
Now I fatted myself out of it. I'm too fat. Like, and what's funny is like when I wear it now, because I wear it around the house sometimes. It's one of those shirts that like it is too small for me, but it's still kind of comfortable, you know. But my belly hangs out the bottom, and like there's no better shirt for your belly to hang out the bottom of than a goddamn purple Pillsbury Doughboy shirt.
Boy, ain't that the truth.
Yeah, so I mean, it
Lord.
still hits to wear around the house, but I don't hit. I've lost a couple pounds the past couple weeks. I might be able to.
I know
Talking about
you
the
own
Jared
at least one. I
Lorenzen?
was about to say, no, not that one.
No, that's new.
He's talking about a different one. Like, he owns
It's-
multiple Pillsbury Doughboys.
That's the
shirts.
Pillsbury
Throw
Boy,
Boy,
yeah,
right.
which I bought out of respect for my man's when he passed away.
Jared
Rest in-
Lorenzen, former quarterback of Kentucky, Super Bowl winner of the New York Giants.
Rest in peace.
Hefty lefty, the
Hefty
Pillsbury
lefty,
Throw Boy.
Yeah, the abominable throw man.
He ruled
Yeah.
a lot, and it was
He was
like
a big
that-
fat quarterback, and he was awesome.
during what I could like. That was my favorite era of college football. Like I was still playing football. You know what I'm saying? So like Fridays you played, and then Saturday you woke up and watched your game on the local thing, and then it was time for college football. Couldn't have been a better time for me.
Just coughed
And
on my leg.
Jared Lorenzen was a huge part of that.
Today was the first day in a very long time that I missed playing football.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
Why?
God,
What was
I
today?
haven't missed playing since the last down of the last fucking game. I don't think.
Yeah, and I think
What
that's
about
me
today?
too.
Yeah.
Made it
I have
any
no
different?
idea. I was watching football while working out. I was running, so it wasn't like I was
That
pumping
checks out.
weights. But I
Your
was
endorphins were really
running and I was watching, and I've been watching all day, which I don't do much anymore. I usually just watch for an hour and then go away. Or
If
whatever.
George is off, I rarely watch hardly anything.
And I don't know, man. It's also kind of cool here in Charlotte. There's no fall in L.A. It's kind of cool here in Charlotte. It's a little fall-y. I don't know. I just was watching it, and I was like, God damn, I miss football. And then I was like, what? I don't ever miss football. I fucking hated football by the end.
Do you feel like you're in you're starting to get in pretty good shape because you have been working out a good bit lately?
I mean, I could outrun Tom Cruise if that's what you're getting at. But no, I can't play football. Do you know how
Right.
hard it is to play football?
I don't mean like actual competitive in pads football. I'm talking about like
Rec league,
rec
flag.
league, like flag shit.
Well, I mean,
which yes, by the way, still is very goddamn hard.
I've
Like,
played flag. Actually, maybe I was supposed to one year and I didn't. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll play flag. I
Hey,
won't
hold
play
on.
flag.
Here.
I'm not gonna do that.
The Pillsbury Doughboy was created by Rudy Purrs, a copywriter for Pillsbury's longtime advertising agency. Purrs was sitting in his kitchen in the spring of 1965 under pressure to create an ad campaign for Pillsbury's refrigerated dough product line. His copywriter, Carol Williams, imagined a living doughboy popping out of a Pillsbury Crescent Rolls can and wrote the campaign, quote, "Say hello to poppin' fresh dough." So, like, and
So
I'm
he didn't
gonna
do
read.
shit.
I'm gonna read more, and I was about to say, but what's funny is it sounds to me like
she did it.
she created it.
How
and
was
then
this not an episode of Mad Men?
It's kind of a
just the
shitload of Mad Men was this, but
Well, he paid her to do it. That was Don's. That was
the
always his
Pillsbury
argument.
Doughboy was created by Rudy Purrs, right? That's the first line.
Period.
Then they get period. Then they go on
And
to
then the
talk
rest
about
of
he
the
didn't
article
do
is
shit.
he didn't do shit.
But anyway, originally named Jonathan Pillsbury, the Doughboy.
Johnny Pills. I knew a
Oh,
couple
Johnny
of them.
Pills. The Doughboy was given a scarf, a chef's hat, and two big blue eyes to distinguish him from the rolls, as well as a blush and a soft, warm chuckle when poked in the stomach.
Woohoo!
Let's see here. Purrs originally conceived the Doughboy as an animated figure, but changed his mind after seeing a stop-motion titling sequence in the opening credits of the Dinah Shore show. The first Poppin' Fresh commercials aired in November 1965. Since then, Pillsbury has used Poppin' Fresh in more than 600 commercials for more than 50 of its products.
God damn.
But, like, what's weird is, in everything I just read, they had that slogan in there that says, "Say hello to Poppin'
Never
Fresh
once
dough."
else is it mentioned.
It says, "Say hello to Poppin' Fresh dough," but then it just says, originally named Jonathan Pillsbury, and other than that, they just call him the Doughboy or the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Where
But
did you read that?
if you look it up, Pillsbury
says
Doughboy's
Poppin'
Wikipedia,
Fresh.
it says Poppin' Fresh, more widely known as the Pillsbury Doughboy. So, like, clearly that, like, is his name.
That was
But
like his
I-
working title,
That didn't
but it
really
never-
clear that up for me very much.
Right.
Johnny Pills. I'm calling him Johnny
They
Pills.
said,
Joe
"Say
Dough.
hello to Poppin' Fresh dough" was the slogan that went along with him when they created him. But they didn't say that became his name, though.
Maybe when they said, say hello to Poppin' Fresh, since that was a new concept, everyone just thought that was his fucking name and started calling him Poppin' Fresh. I like that little Poppin' Fresh, that fat one. I bet women loved him because he looked like a little boy.
Well,
Yeah.
made a little, yeah, right. Yeah, I was going to say, it's his whole, like, have you always been a big fan?
Of the Pillsbury Doughboy?
Yeah, like, from day one?
Let me tell you something. So every year, my
Let me tell you something,
my
brother.
birthday dinner is the exact same. It's never changed. We added an item, but it's never changed. Otherwise, it's chicken casserole,
Okay.
creamed spinach,
Okay.
mashed potatoes,
Okay.
and crescent rolls, and then a coconut cake. And
Is that
it
what
has
you
to-
added?
Huh?
Is that
No,
what-
no. I think we added. We now have macaroni and cheese. We ended up adding macaroni and cheese because Kirby always wanted it. How that started was for my
Blaming Kirby for his ass eating macaroni.
no,
and
no, no. I
cheese
like
on his
macaroni.
birthday.
But the reason it became a tradition, I didn't ask for it the first time. What happened was when I was 8 years old, my dad
Took you to.
took me to Hooters.
Hits.
Yeah, took me to Hooters
Made
for
your
my
mom
birthday.
furious.
Made my mom furious, and she was like, "Next year we're eating at the house." I didn't ask for
See,
anything.
your mom is a feminist.
Yeah, so she just made. That's the dinner that she made, and then I'm a dude who likes tradition. So I was like, next year I want the same thing. Macaroni just wasn't on it. I probably ate macaroni later that day. Then Kirby wouldn't eat shit except macaroni, so that was it. But it's to this day, has to be. She tried one time to be like, oh, I forgot to go get the crescent rolls. I'll just make cornbread. And I was like, you going to get your ass back to the store and get crescent rolls. It has to be the Pillsbury Doughboy crescent rolls. They hit so goddamn hard. They're unbelievable.
Since my man's was 8. Trey, what's your birthday meal? Oh, yeah, you have to have a mom when you're a kid to start that tradition?
Exactly.
No, because I didn't figure out my
When
meal
did you
till
find
I
out
was-
that you had a birthday?
This is pretty Raven.
And that you were allowed to eat a whole meal.
This is pretty Raven because this was very fancy, like, by our standards.
Yeah.
My dad my birthday every year, my dad took me to Red Lobster. in
Hell yeah.
Cookeville.
Fuck hell.
Fucking
Hell yeah.
rules,
That
dude.
was it probably,
If Dad
until
had-
I was
Do you have a
teenager, high
tradition
school
now?
age. No, dude. I don't even really celebrate my birthday.
I
at
don't
all.
get to ever. It's rare that I get to do it on my actual birthday. There was from 21 to like 28. I wasn't even home for it, but we would always just celebrate it like the
Yeah, that's
Friday
what we
before,
do.
whatever the fuck.
I mean, dude,
but
my
I still have
mom's-
that meal, and it's my favorite thing about my birthday is that I could nothing else. If we just have that meal and don't even talk about my birthday other than that, that's all I fucking want.
My mom's obviously a sweetheart, but yeah, I can like come home a month after my birthday,
Yeah.
and she can be like, "Oh, we're having your birthday dinner. It's barbecue chicken on the grill that my dad makes, and then she makes potato salad, and then we have a salad, and then we'll either have mac and cheese or some other cheese-based situation.
What about dessert?
Cheesecake.
Hell yeah, because
strawberry.
My birthday is not December.
The
11th.
canned strawberry, not fresh
Right.
strawberry.
My birthday isn't December 11th. My birthday is whatever day we can have that meal on. That's
Yeah.
the day that is my birthday. Well, that was a sweet way to end the podcast.
Into the Biscuits coming out.
Sorry,
in,
Yeah.
what, 5 days? This is coming out Wednesday? What day is Wednesday?
I don't know.
By the time you hear this,
The
Into the
30th.
Biscuit's coming out tomorrow.
Wednesday is the 30th.
So by the time you hear this podcast, Into the Biscuit, the first episode will be coming out the next day. Yeah, and I'll probably drop part of it in the WellRED feed.
Yeah, we'll put a teaser up.
And yeah.
All right, well, we love you all, and come see us on the road, wellredcomedy.com, WELLRED comedy.com for tickets. Only got a handful of dates left, and then it's on to 2020, where the world's going to catch on fire, and we're all going to explode and die.
Yep.
Thank y'all for listening, and remember to hit that subscribe button and tell all your friends, and download our podcast wherever you get podcasts, or check it out on our website, wellredcomedy.com. That is WELLRED comedy.com, which is also where you can grab tickets to see us on the road. So without further ado, thank you all for listening to The WellRED Show. We'd love to stick around longer, but we got to go. Tune in next week if you got nothing to do. Thank you. God bless you. Good night and skew.